We endured countless announcements, we got disappointed countless times, and we witnessed him raise his kids. Shout out to Azalea, not Onyx, but destroyed Lonely and Ken Carson. We have waited about 5 years for this damn album. It finally dropped, and you know I have an opinion. But why was it even that crazy, and why do people completely obsess over that edgy man pushing 30? Hello, my name is Alex, and I love gossiping about the latest shit happening in pop culture. Playboi Carti, a name everyone who knows at least a little bit about rap culture from the past few years knows. Starting off with artists like Uzi, he was more of a vibe in his early career. While that trend carried over to his newer albums, it was a very different direction. Carti reached his first real high in the music industry was Die Lit, an album considered a masterpiece by a lot. This album showed the people how he was able to become a part of the beat with his unique ad-libs and way of rapping. He already had the rap scene in a chokehold. An album with such a unique sound and cohesive production wouldn't go unnoticed. He was going into a lot more avant-garde direction with Die Lit and everything that came after. It was a big key moment for Carti because Die Lit was commercially his best album thus far. As time passed and Carti fans increased, so did the anticipation for a new album, but Carti wasn't just gonna drop a sequel to Die Lit. While Die Lit had taken heavy inspiration from trap, his next album, Whole Lotta Red, took a very different approach. It was a more punk rockish than trap or anything mainstream at that point. Detuned, aggressive synths, heavy hitting drums, a lot of distortion, and of course Carti's one-of-one screaming style of rapping. Whole Lotta Red was Carti's point in life where he became more rebellious and revolutionary for the music industry, including so many types of genres and little details that were not used in mainstream at all. It was really the complete opposite of Die Lit, from the bright, youthful sound and visuals to the dark, gothic, high fashion, almost alien-like visuals and style. And it was with Whole Lotta Red that he entered the Opium era with. During this transformative period, he began to immerse himself in a world of fashion, weaving it seamlessly into his music. His growing interest in style led to the creation of his own distinctive fashion identity, which he boldly named Opium. The Opium aesthetic was not just a look, it was a statement, an embodiment of the fusion between his music and fashion. Rick Owens, Maison Margiela, and Balenciaga played a pivotal role in shaping the Opium brand. These designers, known for their avant-garde, bold, and sometimes dark approaches to fashion, align perfectly with the artist's evolving persona. The stark, edgy designs of Owens, the deconstructed artistry of Margiela, and the luxurious, yet rebellious nature of Balenciaga all became integral to his Opium aesthetic. The upcoming of Opium didn't go unnoticed. As the artist's influence grew, so did the allure of the fashion line. The hype surrounding Opium quickly attracted other fashion enthusiasts, influencers, and creators ready to jump on a trend and capitalize on it. For many, it wasn't just about the clothes. It was about being a part of Opium and the community, riding the wave of a new fashion era where music and style intervened more deeply. Once again, it feels very similar to genres like emo, goth, grunge, and punk, where fashion and music go hand in hand. 5 years later, and we are pushing the release of iMusic for the third time at this point. In between, we witnessed the birth of artists like Ken Carson and Lone, who took very similar approaches to music like Carti as they were signed to him. You might have realized how Carti has rarely done anything since the release of Whole Lotta Red. 5 features and 1 single in the span of 5 years. This left the fans being dry, like really dry and deprived. They eat up everything he does because of that reason. Ken and Lone can't imitate the exact effect since they weren't as big as Carti to begin with, but it works wonders for Carti, and also brought these two artists quite some success. Dropping music, but only on YouTube, or small snippets on TikTok or YouTube, doing small features and appearing every now and then in media. It all makes his fans even love and go crazy about him even more. He can do basically anything he wants and people are gonna eat it up. Liking a tweet? Boom, he went viral. Scamming a streamer? Boom, he went viral. Leaving his kids and beating his baby mama? Boom, he went viral again. I wonder how he was even able to keep his relevancy up. The release of iMusic was none else but chaotic. It kicked off with a merchandise drop that included a digital album. Sounds cool, right? But fans were worried about getting scammed, which is undeniably a valid reason to have. Interscope Records, the label behind the album, promised the packages would ship on March 14th, so they wouldn't get into legal troubles. Here is where it gets tricky. It seemed like Carti wasn't trying to release the album at all. Or was he? Nobody really knows. But it seemed like he didn't want to release it, so fans were losing hope. So when there's any little bit of news, people just go feral. But hoes were surprised when Spotify banners started appearing everywhere announcing the album. This was a pretty big sign that it would actually happen. But even then, fans were still nervous that it wouldn't drop at all. But guess what? It did. The album came out and Interscope Records kept their promise by shipping the packages on time. So, no legal troubles for them. It was like a roller coaster ride for sure. But in the end, fans got their music. But now, back to the album. What do I think about it? Well, first of all, it's messy, just like the rollout. But I feel like that's what you wanted. The first song, Pop Out, is a bit of a surprise. It's super energetic and almost a scary vibe to it, which makes you think the whole album has a sound like that. But as you listen to the other songs, you realize it's not quite what you expected. It reminds me a bit of what his older album, Whole Lotta Red, was going for, but more polished. Then you hear some songs you might already know, like Evil, Jordan, or HBA. The rest of the album has two main feels. Some songs are really high energy and some almost scary. Perfect for getting pumped up. And then other songs are more chill and mysterious. Not quite like Die Lit, but not comparable to the high energy ones either. Songs like Rather Lie with The Weeknd really surprised me. I did not expect Carti to have a love song in the middle of the album. But again, it's that messy vibe he probably wanted. And besides that, I don't think Able really fits into the album at all. A little side note, while listening to the album, I have heard a lot of Travis parts, and I just think he sounds boring and unfitting on the album. He doesn't really add anything to it at all. But on the other hand, I really enjoyed the production. The beats sound really rich in details and very well done. But I also get the feeling that some of these songs have just been made a while ago and just hadn't been released yet. Knowing Carti, he probably has about 100 other songs in the vault that could have been on the album but just ended up as unreleased tracks. This feeling is enforced when you know that there are quite a few unreleased songs on the album. I would have loved to hear more songs like HBA, such as Backrooms to 2024 Music. Again, songs he released on YouTube but only ended up in unreleased Carti playlists. After all, I do think it's his best album thus far. He has his own sound, his own style. Carti is truly the biggest underground artist, and don't get me in the wrong way. I don't think he's a small artist by any means, but he doesn't conform to mainstream rules and does whatever the fuck he wants. With iMusic, I think he really perfected the OPM sound. A solid 8.5 out of 10. Tell me down in the comments what you think about the album. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.